morning, everyone. We are back here in Kentucky and we are checking out the Bulleit Distillery. So I don't know if you guys can see a little bit of the view behind me, but it is pretty cool and pretty interesting. We're very excited and we have a tour booked this morning, so we're gonna go check it out. As we first stepped into Bulleit, we noticed the beauty of the building. Established in 2016, Bulleit had the most updated modern gift shop and welcome center that we had seen. They loved to work with local artists, which was evident in their brightly colored neon decor mixed with the cowboy western aesthetic. The first thing we noticed was all of the signatures on the barrels as we entered. On opening day, guests were invited to sign the barrels as a time capsule. Now let's hop onto their bus and go on to a distillery tour.
Is this anybody's first distillery tour ever? The rest of the Bourbon Trail will be a little bit more modern because this place was built in 2016. So we're using a lot of today's technologies and computers to help make our drink.
We loved the eco-friendly intentions that surrounded Bulleit's daily operation. Their bus uses propane. They fill the mash coolers from water in a retention pond. The corn used for their bourbon is from local farmers in Shelby County. Rye needs to come from colder climates.
28% rye, 4% malted barley.
Places with higher elevation. The doubler on site was used in Derby Day in 1935. The copper plating has since been redone. We were told by the tour guide, Eddie, that their grain is checked for moisture content. That's the first thing that they do. Make sure it's not too wet, not damaged, and then that grain is turned into a powder, almost like a sand. Bulleit currently has 10 storing warehouses. No barrel is wasted. One barrel has a lifespan of 80 years. So after Bulleit uses it for their bourbon, then it gets sent to Johnny Walker or Don Julio tequila, and finally ends up in the Caribbean to age Captain Morgan spiced rum. Again, this speaks to the sustainability intentions that Bulleit has, where nothing is wasted and keeps getting used. Then they infuse the mash with a flavor profile yeast to attack the sugar and release the alcohol. Strain number 1 is comprised of leather, banana, and fruity notes. Number 2, fruity and creamy. Number 3, strawberry fruit. The 4th yeast strain would be a light leather note, and the 5th would be a jackfruit note. If you're looking for a single barrel bourbon, you're going to get a unique yeast strain in each one instead of all of those profiles being mixed into one barrel. If you're looking for a rye forward bourbon, you're going to look for the B on the label. And if you're looking for a corn forward, a corn heavy, you're going to look for E on the label. So E3 on the label would be a corn forward with the strawberry yeast strain, the 3rd yeast strain. E4 would be a corn forward with the 4th yeast strain, the sweet leather that brings out more of those rye flavors as well. There are 12 20,000 gallon fermentation tanks running at the same time. They use a level 4 char, like caramelizing an onion, and bring those sugars and flavors to the top. Now there are 2 essential things that Bulleit does to make sure they have quality bourbon. The first is that their barrels are a brand new oaked barrel. They use white oak. And no liquid can enter that barrel higher than 125 proof. If it's higher, it's considered a whiskey. They'll add water to proof it down. The crazy weather in Kentucky, the hot, dry, wet, and cold climates are always a perfect weather for bourbon. In the summer, the barrel expands and the flavors come out. In the winter, the barrel comes in and the flavors circulate. At the end of our tour, we were presented with the tasting. Different orbs filled with spices and scents were placed before us. Pairings to open up our senses before tasting their bourbon and rye whiskey. The second orb combined grapefruit and chamomile.
I like that one the most, yeah. A lot more flavor, I think.
I mean, like a single barrel.
After, we got to explore the gift shop and create our own signature Travel with Starnes label for a future bottle. Really unique things that they have. Some flasks, embossed leather, cozies, and coasters. More mint julep mixes.
I like this a lot, actually.
Yeah?
I might want to get this.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us on our Bulleit Distillery tour. Please stay tuned because there is so much more to explore in Kentucky and so many more distillery tours to go on. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy our content. With that, I'm Camille Starnes, and I'll see you later.